Welcome back to Collection Tour Part 4 on Goken Clan. So now we are just going to go into the final leg of the collection. At the end of the collection, what I'm going to do is just do a whole, just kind of walkthrough of the warehouse here. So, let me back up. And we're going to start with Heavy Metal Mazinger Zero. Hey, thanks, buddy. If you know who you are. So anyway, I got the Scrander with this guy. So he's like 8 pounds. Now it's amazing when you're into collecting and doing things or obsessed or whatever you want to call it. I've definitely calmed down. But back when days were heated, not that long ago actually, that Scrander, I asked a buddy, Wilfred, online. He does he carves out and has these wooden robots done. He's a legend in the groups. He's overseas. So you see him pop up anyway. He always does the huge, almost life-size super robots carved from wood, sorry. They transform, they move. I mean, they're like jumbo wooden poppy robots. I mean, they're crazy. Extraordinarily great work. So I asked him anyway. I reached out to him one day and I said, hey, listen, can you make me a Scrander for the big Mazinger Zero? Either some light wood or, plastic, whatever. We went back and forth and just kind of lost contact about it or stopped talking about it. I didn't want to keep bothering him. I know he's busy. I threw some fire effects in there, obviously. And I have a homemade stand. So that's just like a little metal pipe from, a typical clothes rack. Something cheap that you'd see at like Home Depot for clothes. So it's just a little metal pipe that went to a shoe rack or something. I put a little cushion there under the crotch so it didn't get any residue from the tape. That's a little piece of wood. And that is adjustable. I can there's a screw underneath there. I did a video on this. There's a screw underneath where I can adjust it up and down and then plop that piece of wood right back on top. I mean, there's a little bit of guessing work, but once you get the perfect height, he stands there. I didn't want the joints to deform because that thing's heavy. So he is supported. Just a little drill, a little base I gave him. I mean, this is the heaviest robot in my collection. This is the big boy here. Mazinger Zero. Getting back to the Scrander. So I'm just happening to looking around on Show's e-store. They have a lot of like third-party KO stuff, which I think is amazing. Because some KO stuff out there is better than the original or just as cool or not made. So you're able to get it and add something cool to your collection just like this right here. So I'm online and they advertise this Scrander to go with the new, semi-new, maybe 6 months old at this point, maybe a year, the Mazinger Z model kit from Bandai. So he's supposed to be, I guess the Scrander gets huge and Mazinger Z is really could be like that small compared to the Scrander. I'm sorry, Mazinger Zero. So they were trying to give that effect, like when they come out with the Gao Gai Gar Goldie Marg hammer, like it's super huge, it's like just oversized. So that's what the look they were kind of advertising if I got what they were putting down. So it was 3D printed, you can tell because it wasn't fully sanded. It came in white. I put up some pictures. I did some work. It comes apart. So the nice thing is I was able to paint it, assemble it with no glue. And I tried to get the paint to match his chest as much as possible. So I forgot it. Yeah, I painted that. It came white. It came in pieces. I had to just clean it up a little bit from the edges. So this corner here, and it's on its own stand. I'm sorry, one last thing. It's on its own stand back there. It's not even attached to the robot. And he also came with some hands for the model kit. So this corner here, I hate to lose space. I like to fill up as much space as possible. So this is the corner of the warehouse. I custom made all these shelves. Anything you see is custom lighting, which I'll go over in a second too. And then we got here, the Raien. I don't know, I was in a black phase, I guess. I got the Solo Chogokin Raien black. Again, as your collection grows over time, what's going to happen is your feelings, things might change. You might have a couple core robots that you're like, listen, these are the shit. I'm never getting rid of them. End of story. This Raien here, I got early on when I started collecting about 4 years ago. Probably about 2 years in after... A year in after I started collecting. The pandemic was around. I think people were trying to sell stuff off. You can barely find this guy. I love that. That's this Future EX Goken. Now, I'm probably going to screw this up. Future Artstorm. And this is Future Sentinel. They did a collab. So this one, and I don't have the Jomaru. There's a couple names for him. I don't want to screw it up. He's the guy with the white helmet, really cool die-cast figure. They've made a couple different plastic versions of him, like a Sentinel version as well. So this is the Future Sentinel collaboration. The joints are different. I mean, this thing is crazy. This Raien, the joints, I mean, this is a solid piece. He is sold separately with the Godbird. That does transform a little bit. You can actually hook up and transform and put that backpack or jet Godbird on. I didn't want to do it. I did it once. I don't know, man. It looks stupid. I think to me it does. The Raien with the wings. I mean, this is probably the coolest Raien with wings out there. And this is just straight Sentinel. But he reminds me of the Sentinel Dan Kuga, where if you just put on the backpack, it's just the black wing, it just doesn't look as good. And hold on, I just wanted to take it back because black wing's not attached, and I think I told you I was going to kind of show you. I have something, that little circle piece behind his head slides right in, and it just fit perfect to put the wing on. You can adjust the wing, open and close it. I mean, you wouldn't even know. So very happy that worked out. And again, you can see the little Super Robot Chogokin stand. We got Raien, Future Sentinel Gold version. Couple things going on here. At the black Raien, with just an effect I put around his chest bird, whatever. You have the Sentinel Raien. I have him with his... That just kind of clips on, so you don't really have to transform anything, which I like. It just clips on. It looks good. Doesn't look like it's clipped on. But then you have the better piece here, where it's part of the robot, and the chest piece is open. That's the best, so you don't have to worry about putting a piece away or anything like that. Come down to the gold. He does have also a gold Godbird option. I'm not too fond of the Godbird, the look. And that Raien head. Again, this is the type of stuff that works out perfectly, guys. I wanted just the Raien head. I'm not a huge, but I wanted the structure so I could put it with something like this. Somebody was selling it by itself cheap on eBay, so I snatched it up. I was like, that's perfect. I don't even want the figure. I have enough of the figure. I'm good. I mean, once you have the Future Sentinel Raien, that's the ultimate Raien figure. Done. If that's not good enough or you can't get your hands on it, then you want to go Sentinel Raien. The aesthetic's amazing. Tight joints. Sentinel's quality, but I'm not a super fan. Just because something's good or quality doesn't mean, you know, you have to like it. But it is what it is. I give props when props do, or at least I try to. But that little Super Robot Shogoken stand looks amazing. It just, like I said, it gives it that little, it's like a piece now. We're going to head down here. A lot of people like Astro Boy. I am not an Astro Boy fan by any stretch. Nor am I going to pretend to be. Here, he's waiting for another piece. Guess what? People trying to sell the original Astro Boy Blitzway for $2,000 plus. You're done. They're re-releasing Astro Boy, and I'll go through this real quickly. These both are not action figures. I love mechanics of robots. I love, right here, that I love it. The inner workings, the mechanics, things like that. Couple different things going on here as well. I'll explain. I don't care if I could take the Iron Man thing off. I could just whatever. This came with the ZD Toys Iron Man gantry, which is a KO, I think, of the Marvel and a smaller version of the Hot Toys. So the figure I got rid of, didn't need it. I do like Iron Man though, but I wanted the gantry for this guy. So this, I forget the name of it. It's a little die-cast figure. He's about, I don't know, 9 inches tall or so. Solid die-cast. He has the pieces. So the reason why I got him, Blitzway came out with 4 different versions. I'll explain them all. They came out with a body with the skin. These are 2 different. Down here is Blitzway. Up here is, you know, a wannabe KO smaller version of the Blitzway. Like all companies do, you know? Like the ZD Toys, they did that so you could have a small version of the gantry if you didn't want to get the Hot Toys. And there's other stuff like that, for examples. But getting back to this, solid die-cast Blitzway, way bigger piece. This is probably around, you know, the 11-inch scale, just bigger. This face goes with him. So I'm going to explain all the things and try not to get flustered. There's probably 6 different versions of this guy. This one is the original green pant version, which I wanted. I wanted him to have the original anime. They switched it to the black pants after. Underwear, whatever. So that's one thing. They do the black one. They do like different color. I think a glow-in-the-dark type. There's about 5 or 6 different versions of that. He comes with the skins, so you can dress him all up, but I wanted that half. And then what I want to do is a third one, which just shows full Astro Boy. So I'll have one full skinned, one half, so you can see, and you can see where it's going. Also, this is just another arm, these arms in Blitzway, which I did a review, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you can swap out the arms. This one I just kind of used instead of an arm to block the view for the most part, or just swing it out there. I wanted to use it as like a power, so it's like it's plugged into the ground and he's getting power. There's some more effects and a little more I can do with this. I'm just waiting to get the final Astro Boy. There's a Mafex one out there that has sounds, things like that. You can open the chest. There's some moving parts or whatnot. He seems pretty cool. I know it's not die-cast, but Blitzway, again, they're re-releasing this guy here in the normal version, which, again, is similar to this. It's just bigger. And you're going to get it cheaper instead of buying it on the retail market. But I wanted to kind of put a face here. Since I don't have the Blitzway, I use this one. It is smaller, but the forced kind of perspective. I have the arm holding it out like he's taking it off and he's getting worked on underneath, or however your headcanon works like that. But the forced perspective makes it look like it's not much, you know, it goes on there. I left a little base here, so if I have another one, I'll have him normal skin standing over to the side. So they came out with a normal Blitzway version like this. They came out with a normal Blitzway, but just clear, no skin. Just clear. This one comes with half clear. They have him with the pod. He comes with a big pod. You can look it up online, Blitzway Astro Boy pod or whatever it's called. Easily look that up. They have the bed by itself with nothing. So if you bought the figure with the pod, you can have the bed to the side or him laying in the bed and kind of mix it up. They have a clear figure with the bed, but they never sold a skin figure with the bed. So I ended up getting the clear figure with the bed, knowing in the future, sooner or later, I'd get whatever. I got a deal on it, so I just grabbed it. So the bed lights up. I did a whole review on that. Really nice. The arms and stuff are delicate, so you want to be careful with the wiring on that. But that's the Blitzway Astro Boy corner here. And here is Detolf City. Before I forget, I'll get in some lighting stuff here. I don't want to forget. So I wired in the lights up in this corner. The best part is I won't be able to show you. I did these lights different. Instead of a light at the top, I did a couple lights on the edges here of the LED. I put some on the bottom just to make it look good. LED strips. And then these are the regular lights. And this kind of grew over time. So that's why everything's not matching, you know. Funds-wise, things like that. Sometimes I'll put up a shelf, and then when, you know, the funds are available, you get more stuff. One of the best parts I was telling you also, see up here? I wanted that backlit. I had an extra light, and I'm like, let me throw it up there. And it looked amazing. So it looks way better with a light up there. I know it has nothing really to do with the figures, but the top of the Detolfs, I just wanted to show you the backlight makes a whole hell of a lot different, because I took it off for some reason or didn't have it plugged in before I lit it up, and it just looked like shit. But having that light up there makes it worth it. We're going to go over to Great Mazinger. You know, I had a couple figures that I had to get rid of. I didn't like Great Mazinger as much as I thought I did. I heard the anime was a lot better than the original Mazinger. It was a little more fleshed out. It had, you know, better storytelling, better character development, whatever. But we have the metal build, great, right there. I actually really like that. I like that figure a lot. We have the DX in the back, which they'll probably be re-releasing, and I definitely won't get the re-release. I'm just going to stick with this great and be done with it. And then we have one of my favorite lines is the King Arts. So again, I wanted to have him, any King Arts you see kind of in a hanger mode. We're going to go down. Boom, we have a Sky X Getter in the back. I don't like to have the same company's same versions or different paint. If I'm going to do a different paint job, I'd rather grab, let's say, Red Sky X and then this guy here. I just did a review on him. I forget the name, Zhang Dao, I think it is. Toys. His armor comes off. He's almost a direct copy of the regular King Arts Getter. Only reason why I got that Getter was because of the simple fact that you can take all the armor off. That's my jam right there. You see the cockpit inside. I mean, these things are amazing. Sky X, a little bit of the armor comes off. That's not why I wanted him. He's a fat fucking chunky boy. Get the Sky X Red Getter. Don't get the Blitzway. Well, you know what? Do what you want. I got the Sky X. I'm more than happy with it. Those panel lines, I mean, come on. It looks like a robot. If you want anime accurate, go with that. If you want a little stylized with a little nut to it, there you go, because those guns are flipping out and going to blast the fuck out of you. Now we're going to go down to... So you get a little effect here for him. Ooh. Looking good. Boom. Brings us to Tetsujin. All right. This is Evolution Toys. They're bigger size, I guess. This one's heavy. The one down here is not. These are both the same company. Here and here. I got these because no one else that well, there's a couple of the robots, but not that I really know of that go all armor out. So I wanted the armor represented with like the hanger mode against, again, different company. This is the big boy here. This is the Art Storm Tetsujin 28. And he's probably about 5 pounds. He comes in the same line as the 3. You got the Mazinger Heavy Metal, Tetsujin Heavy Metal, and Mazinger Zero Heavy Metal. Then you got him down here. Look at that. If they made that look like that, just bulked him out a little bit, ugh. Because he looks sick. That's the Solar Chigoken. So I'm trying to spread the loves through the lines if they have good quality or if I like the design. So all these little figures, people running the show, the grandpa, the dad, the professor, Solar Chigoken right there. He actually came in the 2-pack with Black Ox, which I think is his alter ego. Sorry about the zoom there. Here we go. Just did a review on the King Arts Grendizer, aka Golden Rake. Now we have, I don't know, you know what guys? I don't know what Alpha Max is doing. Alpha Max on the left here, Grendizer. Amazing, he's a good figure. A lot of loose joints, he needed to be kikied up. Now he's perfect, but a lot of loose joints. Kind of reminded me of the Blitzway Makanda Robo. You know, good figure, but I mean, ankle joints, and you can't really get in too much because they're die-cast joints. Not this so much as the Makanda Robo, but when you put it kiki or try to get in there, I mean, the die-cast joints are, whew, they're slick. So again, King Arts, we wanted Explosion. And that's one of the heads that I was talking about before that came with the special edition Spazer UFO. Came with the half head. Half metal, half right down the middle. The head, I think the head and the hands came with the Marine and Drill Spazer. Which I didn't want, but whatever. At least all his vehicles are represented now. Those are a little bigger than I wanted to take up room, to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind having like a little Solar Chigoken, you know, all the vehicles, the Spazers, the Drill, Marine, all that, in their own little box, but whatever. Part 1 of the video, you'll see that. But yeah, Alpha Max Grendizer, I don't know what they're doing. They came out with a Jeeg with the horse years ago, and they just released this guy like 2 years ago. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know the release date of the Jeeg, and I don't know. They don't have any more figures. It's just him and Jeeg, which we're going to get to. And before I forget here, we just did a review on this Gunbuster. Fucking crazy. So a couple things I didn't bring up in the review, I'll just throw here. The head articulation sucks. The shoulders, I wish they moved a little more because those shoulder pylons are very just there. You can pose them, but I think CCS could have done a lot better on that particular release. And CCS right now is one of my favorites. It's just the head comes off so easy. I mean, there's a ton of parts. He should have came with an option part, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just option parts set. As much as I might not like him or think it's a ripoff, sometimes, guys, it's for the better. I mean, he came with so much stuff. It was just, the figure probably would have been half price, or at least 30% cheaper without all that crap. I mean, it's crazy, but hey, they gave it. So the SKL CCS release, I'm having big, high expectations. If they're going to do this with Gunbuster, and you'll see if you watch my review all the shit it came with, they should do it for SKL. Give them the wings, give them the cape, the whole shit. And here we go with SOC. So what I'm doing, instead of breaking them down as ship mode, I'm kind of keeping them as... They didn't make a King Arts, but I did the best I could to make his insides kind of show. And that's fully transformable. Even still to this day, they put a lot of work, care, and effort into that figure. And back in the day when that came out, that was peak transformation to get that guy to happen. A lot of engineering, Bandai, back in their heyday. And there's 2 versions of that. You see the color on the right is the CCS. Solar Chogokin released 2 versions of Gunbuster. That's the anime, and they have the darker. I took the anime color because I did not like the other color of the SOC Gunbuster. So that's realistically why I went with that. We'll come down to Vanguard Ace. We have the GNU Vanguard by, I'm drawing a blank. Shit. It's the GNU, the old school heavy boy. And here we go with the King Arts. So you can see what he sees, see what he looks like on the inside, and see what he looks like normal. Give you a little taste of both. That's the robot, that's the inside. I mean, the King Arts is huge, but I like to see a lot of the parts and pieces, so that's why I'm glad he's bigger. I could put the, man, I wish I could remember the company. I know it's GNU for sure. Something GNU. But anyway, I could put him on a little stand and raise him up a little, which I think I should do. A lot of these things too, tips and tricks, if you've been seeing them around, I'm getting the clear version of the hard plastic pop packs. Funko Pops. This one's at GameStop exclusively. It could fit about 4 or 5 in there. Funko Pops. So if you have like a display you want together, you can put that in. Jeeg, CM's Corp Jeeg. I forget the company, but that is a direct, I'm pretty sure KO. It's not CM's. A lot of companies will do that, I noticed, and you might as well. There's a couple cups there with the mechanics. They'll do like the Fantasy Jewel Voltron, the black version. They did a normal version too. Solar Chogokin Bandai didn't release a black version, so they did, and they scraped up all the money. So this company, CM's, didn't do a black, or maybe they did. There's a bunch of versions, copies of these floating around, but companies will still do that. They'll do, the black version of a company not doing something, or a version of or other companies not doing, and capitalize on it. So the Funko Pop cases, that was a big one. Those are at GameStop. They're about $30. The smaller ones you can get on Amazon. I get a pack of 8 for like $30, and I'm telling you, they are a savior. You can up and down figures, all that. Here we go with, this is the GX100. I don't have them with the dragon, of course. Here we go, King Arts. I'm a little torn between, the King Arts just comes with so much. So many different plate swappings, this and that and the other, okay? I was torn between having some battle damage and just him exposed. So I left a little battle damage on there. If you see some reviews of this guy, I'm telling you, I did a review on him, but I didn't switch it all up. He could have so many different looks. Take all the armor off with the faceplate. He has, because of those, he has more of a red. He has the battle damage look. He has the full armor look. They are re-releasing him. I don't think the armor comes off. I think they're doing more of an action figure. And I pre-ordered it anyway. But whether or not the armor comes off doesn't matter to me. That's got to be probably my favorite figure in my collection. Right there. That's GX100 with the power-up armor on. He's not with the dragon because the other King Arts I was just talking about, I want to put with the dragon. I know it's out of scale, but part 1 in the video, I showed the Grendizer and Guy King together, and the way it scales there, I just like it better. Whatever. Here we go. Future. This is the only Future besides the Raiden that's not with the Future case. I had to get the Future UFO, boys. You know I did. Come on. Not my favorite piece, but I wanted him represented in the UFO. Guy King, unfortunately, can't be really represented in the Dragon unless you want to lose the robot. So that kind of sucks. At least you get to see, 25% of Grendizer out of the Spazer, so you know kind of what's going on there. Guy King is just gets sealed up in the Dragon and he's gone, which kind of sucks when you're displaying it. On the right here, we have GX... I think 75 DC, something like that. That's Grendizer in the DC line. There's only one of them, so easy to look up. Grendizer DC. So they wanted to make a dynamic classic version to go more anime accurate. I have him displayed. You can switch out parts, things like that. I have him displayed. Here we go on the left is the Sentinel. So you can put him in the Spazer, which I have had probably in previous videos. Or I said, fuck it. There's no other one like this. He's going in the mech suit. That, his UFO changes into a exo suit, which has nothing to do, never in the comic, anything like that, as far as I know. But it's so badassery. And that figure's a little shorter. Other than the panel lining, I probably would not want that figure. But he has the mech suit, 2 versions of him by himself, and one with the UFO. And we go over to the future double Spazer that came with the Grendizer. The UFO is sold separately. And it does come with an extra pair of hands that are fully articulated. So there's that. That's a little heavy die-cast piece. Here we go to the legend himself. This is my first Super Robot anime cartoon I've ever gotten into as a very young child. I saw a couple episodes of this as a kid. It was called Transorzy in America, as most of you might know if you're watching this channel. There's the metal build Mazinger Z. Nice detailed. Look at things go deep. So you get that detail, which is awesome. Highly recommend the metal build Mazinger Z if you're not worried about having more of a 6-inch, 7-inch scale robot, something like that. 8-inch. This is the new Mazinger DX. Look at that detail, man. The original, which is back here, did not come with the Scrander. One who sold that to me fucking took me for a ride. Thanks, buddy. So yeah, got that. The new one here. And then the old King Arts in the back, baby. The Scrander pieces slide on. So what a lot of people like about this guy in the back, the King Arts, is just the simple fact that those pieces right there, the broken pieces, you can take those and just slide them right on. And then the lines are already broken up because you have the panel lining, so you wouldn't even know. And I'm talking about this one in the back here. Look, you can see all the stars inside that shoot out in their respective shot slots. And that's what happens when they shoot out. That's what they look like. He's fully decked out. Now, here we go. Beast King, go Lion. Voltron. Blitzway 5 Pro. Dethroned. This is the Matchbox. That's the Matchbox separated. Never been combined. Those come in the boxes. I got the Black Lion and then the 2 other boxes that come with green, yellow, and then the other box red and blue lions. So it's a 3-box set. A couple swords going. Yeah, he's in his own. He has a double right there, buddy. Voltron. So first one was Mazinger, and then Voltron was like the staple. He was the one I would always watch. So I didn't want to leave a couple cases empty. Again, I've said it before, the collections grow when they change. So these guys are just placeholders, might get rid of them. That's the DC Mazinger, that's the original GX01. Here we go with Gordian, which I do not like at all. I just don't care for his design. He looks like a whacker kind of bikin' foo. But he has 4 people who transform. 1, 2, 3. You can see 3 here. I think there's a guy inside there. So bikin' foo has 3. Gordian or Guardian has 4 people inside. But when you get over, his just head is so big. It's just, just because his head's so big, he's so disproportionate from all the other robots. He kind of has to do his own thing, I guess. And here we go, Zeo Rhymer. I just stuck him in here because I didn't want to leave an empty spot for you guys. Then we got the DX, Soul of Chogokin, Combattler on the left, Voltus on the right. Did a review on them, fully transformable, beautiful bots. So this is the hangar section anyway. This is where most of the robots with the armor removed, you know, the metal exposed, that'll be over here. This is kind of the hangar wall. Here we go with Jeeg. They came out with so many kind of cool, rare, whatever Jeegs you want to call it. So at that time, it's like, that's why I have so many. I don't even like Jeeg really. But they just have a lot of cool robots, like the black version I showed you with the horse. So here's what Jeeg, I wanted both versions, you know, that's why I have a small one, just kind of like the Astro Boy. A normal one so you can see, hey, all right, this is what he looks like. Then one with the armor, and then one as a centaur. So I have the 3 different kind of versions. Same thing with Grendizer. You know, you want one with him, and then one with him in the Spazer, or UFO. This is the CR02 Mazinger. So this is basically a KO version of the King Arts, if you will. / Solar Chogokin DX. So this right here, his foot's bent, so I can't really pull it off. But the armor comes off on this guy, which is cool. I think I did a review on him. Anyway, the armor comes off. His just toes bent, so it's like holding it in. But you can expose his armor, take off his metal plates, just like you can the DX. You can do kind of half, one side, some pieces exposed. There's no battle damage parts, though, which is fine. I mean, I'm happy just to have, you know, be able to take the armor off, which is awesome. Last but not least, like I was saying, cool Jeegs. Not my favorite robot, but I have a lot of copies of them just because the toys and either the aesthetic or whatever you want to call it made me get it. And this guy right here is no exception to that. This is the Alpha Max Jeeg with horse. So you can get Jeeg or the horse. There's no together combo. By the Jeeg by himself, by the horse by himself. So you have the choice. And you can take his legs off, you can take his head off, and you can swap them out. It's a little bit of an older figure. I don't want to, you know, really mess with it too much. I have done a review on that if you want to check that out. All right, last but not least, here we go. Come into the office at the warehouse. This is what you're greeted with every day. Come in. I'm going to go slow. Here we go. So these are one of the main shelves here. You gotta have your RoboCop. Come over here. Voltrons. Side chair. Get the whole thing in here. I had to stop here because I have the other space over here. I can't block out the chair. There's the future. It's a corner. Now, getting back to one of the best things I can't show you because I'm on my phone is all these lights can be controlled by my app. So like I did, I put all the shelving together. I built those boxes to put on the detolf on top. I ran extra lights. You can see the little LED strips. I ran all them lights in there because the lights blew out and I needed light. I added that light bar. I added these lights. I know they're kind of big and wide, but I've already had them, so I didn't really want to spend money on them. I'm going to do that to the other side because those lights had recently blown out. Custom wall. You can see the bars here. So these shelves are almost... These cases are basically almost like floating. But they're on there really secure. Because I knew there was going to be heavy die cast in there. And before we head out, like, share, subscribe. I wanted to end on Ling Cage. He is so cool. I think he's made by... Man, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I think he might be a Mosho toy. But this guy is cool. Hey, I hope you guys liked the video. Like, share, subscribe. Peace out.